Hi, my name is Josh, and I work at the Divelbiss Corporation. I made this video to show you how to connect our devices to IoT Central. Specific images or steps may change over time, so please refer to the latest releases to stay up to date. We will start our journey at URL appsazure.iotcentral.com. From the Build tab, select a custom application, and give my application a unique name. Select the pricing plan that works for your project. And last, you'll need to set up an account. I'll leave while you put in your personal information. Now that the account is set up, we end up on our home page, where we can view our applications and start a new resource group. Select the IoT Central application from the Azure's Marketplace. I'm just going to give my resource a name. We'll choose a custom application in our example today. It may take a few minutes to validate and deploy, and then follow the link to your resource, where you'll find the URL and link to your device in the dashboard setup. Before we go further, in order to connect our device to this application, we need to copy the scope ID and use it in our ladder project. Let's move to that setup now. Under the Project and Settings tab, we can set up our program for our specific target. Click the Properties button. Select the appropriate part number for your target. In order to use IoT Central, we'll need to add the EEPROM to our project. The next device to add is the interface. In our example, we'll start with the Ethernet. Our IoT project also needs a universal time server to sync with on the internet. Time server can be found by searching the internet, but this is a good selection for North America. Now, moving on to the MQTT setup, we will select the Ethernet as our interface. We're going to host our data on Azure's IoT Central and use our serial number as our device ID. The semantic password that we will get later needs to be stored in the EEPROM. I'll start at address 0 and it requires 46 bytes. The scope ID, if you remember from a few minutes ago, is located on our dashboard portal under the Administration tab. As of this recording, the best place to get the DigiCert certificate is from digicert.com. Save the certificate somewhere on your computer. In the Properties box, browse to your desired location, clicking OK to save all of your changes, and then selecting your communication port. From the Function drop-down menu, select the MQTT Connect block. In the event of a disconnection, you can determine how many seconds you delay before you retry. To enable the function block, let's place a contact in front of the block. And I'll select a predefined variable name that's in my project. And selecting the line tool to connect my contact to my function block. I need to insert a variable to hold the status results from the function block, as well as the error and the number of retries. The coil attached to Q becomes true when the connection is successful. And that I have tied that condition to the timer function to send our data. Add the variables that you'd like to publish to the cloud into the Publish block. And we only have one topic to select in our project. You can find this and other examples in our Applications Notes section of our website. Now that we've added our variables to our project, let's go back to our dashboard setup. To add a new device, we need to start with the device template. Insert your name, and we won't use a gateway device. The interface contains the capabilities. These capabilities are the same as the variables in your program, and they should share the same JSON name. Also be sure to match the variable types. In our case, they're both integers. And we can add our units. After we've added our capabilities or variables, remember to save and publish the device template. Now we're ready to add our hardware to the device template. In our Easy Ladder project, we checkbox the option to use the serial number of the hardware as the ID. This helps keep track. Just be sure that they match the project settings. When we connect our device, IoT Central will give us a scope ID. If you recall, this scope ID is in the project settings of the MQT device list. I'll just check it one more time. Copy and paste the password or primary key into the EEPROM. Under the Edit tab in the MQTT property block, we'll paste the primary key or the password. Save and compile the program before loading onto the hardware. We're set up to publish our data once every minute. Double-clicking on the Enable contact, we can make connection to the server. Now going back to our dashboard, we'll select New. Just pick one of the telemetry points and add the tile, and either configure the tile or change the visualization type. Documentation on how to use IoT Central can be found under the Help tab, but hopefully this gets you connected and started visualizing your information. Thanks for ordering your PLC on a chip product.
1, 2, 3, 4